Hey y'all, welcome to the Fill-In Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could, please like, share, subscribe. Y'all, I say it often, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD, and as you can see, we've come down here and found support that 527.98. Now back to the upside, we could possibly have trouble 533.68 again here at 536.32. Should we break that, we can use the moving averages. We have a 50 and the 20 EMA. We can use that as a resistance area of 541. If we should break that for AMD, the ATR trail and stop is forming around that 544.34 area, possibly have trouble there. Now should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again 547.59, again at 551.84, 553.76, 556.35, and again here at 560.23. Now I marked these levels at another video that had no sound, so I am recording again, right? So the reason for marking this level here is because price gathered at this area. I always like to go to my 30-minute chart and then discover, how many times is price gathering or touching that line. I need to remember that because that's important, right? So breaking the 566.27 for AMD, we could possibly have trouble again around the 569.70, and we can come back and retest the 572.32. So if you're trading AMD today, those are possible areas of resistance now to the downside. If by chance we break under the 527.98, we could possibly come back down and retest the 525.58, which something stopped us in this area here, right? So breaking that, we could very well come back to 517.70, and breaking the 517.70, 509.48, and again here at 505.62. Now breaking that 505.62 for AMD today, we could very well come back to the 494.97. So that's 494.97. So if you're trading AMD today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Again, not financial advice, right? So let's go look at Meta today and see where we are. Meta is an inside day candle. I wanted to point that out, meaning if we break beyond this area, which we've already broke that pre-market, right? Break this area, the possible target is, right? So the trigger to that was 603.58. We've made a pre-market high of 607.98, although the target for Meta today was 610. Could we keep climbing? Absolutely. We bounced off of that ATR trail and stop. We see it here. I love to see y'all. I have this level marked 599.71, and the ATR trail and stop in the 50 EMA is kind of like close to that area, right? And I just use simple support and resistance lines to mark those, right? So breaking, right now the support is at the 601.57. We could possibly have trouble again, 603.41. Breaking that for Meta today, 605.86. And should we break that, 607.48. Breaking that 607.48 for Meta, 610 is the target. Now, if we should break that 610, know that there's trouble still at that 610.37. So should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again, 611.90. And if we break that 611.90 for Meta, 614.43, those are possible areas of resistance. Now back to the downside under 599.71. Let's say the 598.91. Why? Because price kind of stayed, I'm going to make that right, price kind of stayed here in this area here. Even though we broke through that ATR trail and stop, we still came down to this level here, which is around the 598.91. Breaking that for Meta, 597.59. There's a few layers down to the 596.16. And should we break that 594.29, again 592.98, 591.98, and breaking that 590.81. But as you can see, that 200 EMA is 589.62, really close to a line that I have marked at the 589.08. So those are possible areas of support and resistance for Meta. Again, it is an inside day candle. So let's say we break the 581.76 today. Downside target for Meta is 580.42. Is it possible? Y'all, I say it often in this market. anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed, right? Let's say that. So we're now looking at NVIDIA. We closed at 195.55, and yeah, NVIDIA just come down to an area, the 190.60, bounce from there. Looks to be having some support areas around the 192.35, breaking that to the upside. 192.95 could be a resistance area. 193.23, 193.68, and y'all see that 193.99. It is at a level that I have marked, and it is an inside day candle. That's very important because we've already broke through that level and reached that downside target. So can we bounce from here back to the upside? Anything is possible. Breaking past that 193.99, that 50 EMA, we can use that as of now. 194.25. Again, we're recording this pre-market. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again. 194.90, and as you can see, price gathered in this area over here. 194.90. Breaking that, y'all see the 200 EMA is right at a level. 195.68. Let's see what I have here. 195.69. I love to see that very, very close. I want to just go and see when that level was marked. 10-11-25. So we're back in the 2025 zone right here. If we get back to that area for NVIDIA, breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again. 195.95, again at 196.48. And should we break that 197.19, breaking that 197.58, and again 198.03. Now I did mention that it is an inside day candle. So let's say we break this 198.03, we could still have trouble. 198.89, 199.34, and up here at the 199.85. So the trigger to the upside for the inside day candle is 197.58. If by chance we break that, then the upside target for NVIDIA today, $200.08. So if NVIDIA is something that you trade, I say it so often, y'all, trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? So that you can live the trade another day. We are looking at SoFi. I added this one to the list because it is an inside day candle for today. SoFi, if by chance we break above $19.13, upside target $19.21. Now to the downside, under $18.31, downside target is $17.76. Now let's go see how much does SoFi normally move on a daily basis. That's what's important, right? Normally 95 cents. That is the ATR, which is the average true range that it normally moves per day, and that could be in any direction, right? So I say it often, trade carefully, right? So let's go look at Tesla, and I'll go ahead, disclaimer right now, my Tesla charts are very, very congested. I have been trading Tesla or charting Tesla for about 4 or 5 years now, and I don't erase the lines. Let's say that, right? Why? Because we're going to come back to that area at some point. Tesla closed at 419.77, and as you can see, we're finding support at that 415.83 pre-market, kind of bouncing off of that 20 EMA now, but we have that 5 EMA that could be trouble, right? So where are the trouble places? What's interesting is that 5 EMA is right at a level that I kind of knew we could possibly have trouble. I just want to go and see when that line was marked, 5/5/26, right? So breaking this 416.39 for Tesla, we could very well have trouble again. 417.19, 417.54, 418.62, breaking that 419.71. There's a few layers up to that 420. Now that 420 is the trigger for our inside day candle. Tesla is an inside day candle. So breaking that 420 area, there's a few layers. 420.43, 420.95, 422.22. I remember that for Tesla. Now we should break that. Keep in mind, again, there's a few layers all the way up here, right? So from that 423 up to the 424.39 or 424.29, we could possibly have trouble. 424.68, we could have trouble there. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble. 425.62. Again, there's a few layers, and I can make this visible, y'all. There's a few layers here. Should we break that? 426.06, 426.43, 427.26. Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out in this area, right? So should we break this 427.26 for Tesla, again, we could very well get stopped out in this area here, 427.72 area up to the 428.01. So if you're trading to Tesla today, those are possible areas of resistance. Now, for some reason, I remember that 422.22 and that 428.06. Those are possible areas of strong resistance, in my opinion. Let me say that, right? Not financial advice. Now, back to the downside. Let's say we break under this 415 area. Keep in mind, we could come back to 414.52. 413.75, y'all see that 50 EMA is really close to that area. If we should break that, 412.94, close to that ATR trailing stop, we could very well come back to 412. Now breaking that 412, we have 411.43, 410.58 or 410, yes, 410.58. Breaking that, we can come back to 409.03. Y'all see that's very close to where that 200 EMA is, y'all. Super. I get excited when I see that because I don't use the moving averages to form those lines. I just use support and resistance. And I'm going to see when I formed that line from 217.26. That's when that line was created. But now it's showing me that that is where our 200 EMA is as of now. So again, support and resistance. Now, if Tesla should break this 409.03 area, we can come back to around the 407.89, 407.10, all the way back to the 405.56. For some reason, that 405 stands out and that 404.80 stands out for me with Tesla. Breaking that, there's 404.25. So there's a few layers of support here, and that's why they're in a different color here. If we should break that, you know, we could very well come back to 403.68 and breaking that level for Tesla today. Let's see, I need to remove that. If we should break, you know, that level, the next level, 402.54, all the way down to the 401.68. For some reason, Tesla stayed in this area here. Now, back to the downside, if by chance Tesla breaks under, let's say that 390.50 area, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. If Tesla breaks under this 390.50, which was yesterday's low, we have a downside target for Tesla today, 389.30. So if you're trading Tesla today to the upside or to the downside, I say it so often, y'all, trade carefully. Why? Because in this market, anything is possible. Mara was an inside day candle for today. If by chance we break above 13.52, we have an upside target of $14.10 for Mara. If to the downside, under 12.54, downside target 11.98. Let's go see how much Mara normally moves per day. Let's see, $1.36. Keep in mind that could be in either direction. And there was another one, MU, Micron. That normally, the ATR is what caught my attention with this one. MU normally moves 106.03, $106 per day normally, and that's in either direction, y'all. So MU is an inside day candle for today. If by chance we break above the $1,020.10, upside target $1,064.01. Now to the downside, under 980.58, downside target today for MU 948.75. Again, these are inside day candles. It kind of just gives us a target as to if it should break this level, then this is the possible target for us today. So y'all, this is what I see when I look at the market. I said often there's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging at times is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you and for you to have the discipline to execute your plan. That's very important, executing your plan, right? So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. Again, if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. I would greatly appreciate that. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable day today. Until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.